There we go.
All right. This is how my day is going, everybody. See that? Mental wins.
Jeff, this is how my day's going.
For those of you not watching at home on YouTube, Mental is drinking out of a pitcher of beer, and I am drinking a Mountain Dew Kickstart Orange Citrus.
It's
it is
at 8 o'clock at night.
8 o'clock at night.
Or else I'll be asleep.
And he'll probably go to sleep. And this is a throwback show. I was telling Chris and Chrissy, I'm back at the Officers Club, and they remembered me.
Nice.
They didn't kick you out. That's the exciting part.
Not yet.
Yeah. Can we see your current paperwork, Major Ward?
The bartender knows me. That's my current paperwork.
Oh,
There's still an E1R sticker on her tip bucket. So no, we're good.
Wow.
We're already recording. The very first thing that happened yesterday is I got harassed by a security guard, not a cop, a security guard at my campus looking for my ID to enter the concert. And I was like, I'm in charge, so get out of the way.
Don't you know who I am?
Don't you
Right.
know
You know who my dad is?
I'm Jeff Wakeman. I'm kind of a big deal.
I'm
That's true.
important here.
All right. Well,
Don't make me call my iced tea.
that's right. Welcome to E1R Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemma Champ or Lucky Track Dog League you run, SCC or NASA, we won't discriminate. As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news, and notes in the world of amateur endurance racing, and whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough and Chrissy gives us just the tip, we're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm mental.
And we are E1R Racers, a rare week where I read the second part too, which is fine. I know. So thanks for listening to a furgone episode of our podcast. It is episode 238, and I'm looking at Chris to my Italian pronunciation. He doesn't know.
He's not
German.
I don't have the Italian down as much as I do the rest.
All right. Episode 230.
That's
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll get to there in a minute.
okay.
It's episode 238. The Fiat 238 was a van, or as that would be pronounced in Italian, a furgone. The 238 was produced from 1967 to 83. It was an economy car chassis with the down-tuned 124 motor. I mean, I'm sure that thing just flew, right? The 238 was produced in many different body styles, utility, personal transport. 74 Fiat introduced the new van, the 242, with a larger gasoline engine and also a diesel variant. But the 238 was so popular, they just kept on building it, because that's always a good plan when you're a terrible Italian car manufacturer. It's popular for mobile home conversions since its front-wheel drive allowed it for a low flat floor, blah, 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 whatever. Listen, if you're not talking with your hands, boopity-boppity, like Chris said, and you know a driving like Italian, the van, the furgone, you can go to our thing and get
Go
the
to our
bingo
thing?
card. The notes. What's wrong with you? Forget about it.
Go
I'm
to
sorry,
our
that was
thing.
that was
You
American.
should have marked the E1R bingo card.
Okay,
The
that's
bingo
better.
cards
Oh,
there.
Never
Goodness.
give Jeff the accent bits
Oh,
again.
right?
No.
Right?
And I'm
Never.
Italian too. I don't even know how to do an Italian accent.
You're not doing a good
I
job.
mean-
Let's
I can curse in Italian and throw tools like my grandfather.
okay. This
Exactly.
this is if you're not watching, you don't know what just
I
happened.
don't know.
Anyway,
What you working on?
thank you.
Chrissy.
I did some Mazda work this weekend. It was great. I did the coolant flush, which is always fun because you scramble under the car and find the place where it where you undo the coolant and get it everywhere, even though you know where to line it up. You just get it everywhere. So that was great, covered in coolant. Did some minor cleanup, and we did a lot of prep of lots of food, and I have been unemployed. Woo! So I have been spending time with my mom, and we've been making Chrissy's mom's cookies. So they're
Nice.
now not just Chrissy's mom's, they are Chrissy's mom and Chrissy's cookies because we've been doing it together. Today I had a huge success run at Costco, getting gas in the truck and all 8 cans. And it's always fun to try to load up, not get in trouble. Find out that the guy at the gas attendant at Costco, he says it's no problem. Fill them all up. It's all good. Because I have 4 Hunzikers and 4 red cans. And so I did spill a little bit. He came by with a little cleanup to make sure. He was like, don't walk in that. Let me clean that up for you. And I was like, not only did they not yell at me, they actually helped me clean up. So really great. I was hustling because I was trying to get everything out of the way because there's Costco and Costco gas is very cheap. So at some point I'm ready to leave. I'm strapping everything down and there's a guy next to me. And of course, this is an old guy that's the attendant. He sees his friend who's getting his 1 gallon red can out of his car to fill that. And I had just filled a lot.
40 gallons. No.
Plus.
Yeah, it's 44 actually. So
44. Okay.
And then
plus the truck.
plus the truck.
Plus the truck, which
Yes.
is like 44.
And I'm hustling, right? So I'm just slinging jugs everywhere. That sounds terrible. Anyway, it was great. It's cheap. And they
it
didn't yell
didn't
at me.
sound bad until you actually
Sorry.
paused because everyone listening to the show goes, "Oh yeah, Chrissy's slinging jugs, man." We've seen her throw those things in the wagon. We've seen her pull them out.
I was, and I was strapping them down and getting them out of here. I was trying to get out of there quickly. So yeah, successful. Costco.
I can see the
gas
show
fund.
notes already.
Mm,
Chrissy
sorry.
straps down her jugs.
Write it down.
Slings.
Slim jugs,
Yeah.
whatever.
All right. After Chris is done, Chris, tell us, what have you been working on?
Also the Mazda, because we put it away pretty much as race ready as we could have it in the fall. Because past Chris and Chrissy thought about future Chris and Chrissy in the spring with all kinds of projects and said, let's just do this now. So all it needed was
Past Chris and Chrissy are a lot nicer to future Chris and Chrissy than past Jeff and Mental are to Jeff and Mental.
Without a doubt.
This is no surprise to anyone.
no, not at all.
No. Mm-mm.
So we did have to do front brakes that I was on the fence about having to do, but
Mm-mm.
we decided to do them. So
I'm sorry. I convinced you to do said.
Yes, sure.
Well, I was going to do them, and then you just said
decided to do them. Not we.
Fine.
So I didn't do them last year because we didn't have any spares. I said I'll order some of the winter. So about 2 weeks ago, I called Porterfield and talked to Wendy and said I'd like to order some ST43s, please, for my car. She said, so right now we're out of the base stock of ST43s for about 2 weeks. So I won't be able to get them to you for the race, but how about we do ST45s? They'll be fine. I said, yeah, okay, no problem. Let's try the ST45. So we got the ST45s for the front. I got another set of R4Es for the rear, but the rears are like barely half worn. So they left those on. So we put new rotors and pads in the front. The rotors that were on there were on it while it was a street car for probably 50,000 miles, or if not, probably more than that actually. So, okay, new rotors, they're $45 each. Fine. So those
That's
are all
actually
on.
pretty expensive.
Well, they're the Speed 3 ones. They're 13-inch rotors. They're like a
I
pizza.
thought they were a Mazda
sorry,
5
how much-
van.
Chris, how much are
on
the
the back.
rotors on? How much are the rotors on my car?
Well, Mercedes will sell them to you for $1,100 each. The cheapest Brembos that I think you can find now are about $450 each. So it's a full order of magnitude difference in price, actually. Anyway, we got the 45s on and went to bed them. So I have initial impressions of the ST45 compared to the 43.
Wait, news.
Right.
In
Product
information
reviews.
you can use.
Right. The 45s definitely have a higher friction component than the 43s, in that I was betting the brakes at what seemed like a pretty reasonable pedal pressure. And actually, as about 6 stops into my betting, I got the ABS on unintentionally because they heated right up and the friction came right up.
Oh,
And I did not want to get the ABS on during betting. Right. So we're going to have to be gentle with the brake. Like, this is going to be gentle toe on the brakes because it's got big old brakes and they've got some friction to them. So
can't wait.
Like the
This'll
boat.
be nice.
You had to have a gentle toe on the boat. Both of the S10s,
yeah,
I guess.
this unfortunately, this one, the ABS works beautifully. It's a modern car. So it's not as bad as the flat Palooza that was the boat, but you still have to be careful. We also put the good wheels on it and loaded the trailer with the rest of the stuff. Flushed the brake fluid because I didn't want to do that before the car sat for 6 months. That doesn't make any sense. So it's got new Motul. So then Mazda's done. Then I decided to work on the trailer brakes because they haven't worked very well in a while, and I was getting overload errors occasionally on the brake controller. So I said, I'd turn them all the way up, and they wouldn't do that much. So I said, well, maybe it's the magnets that are actuating the thing. So I ordered new magnets. There's only like one kind of magnet per size brake. These are 10-inch brakes. Like those are the magnets. This trailer brake stuff, it's all the same. Got those. I think the set of 4 of them from Amazon was $50-$60. So like not much at all. And so I pulled the brakes apart, and the magnets were definitely worn. There's some wear indicators on the magnets to show when they're getting worn. They were not completely worn out, but they were worn. I also found one broken wire in the trailer brake system.
That's a big deal.
So I think I was only having brakes on one axle because of it. So I repaired that. So anyway, got all the new magnets in, adjusted all the brakes, repaired a bunch of wires. So hopefully we've got nice brakes for the trip. It's going to take a bit to wear the magnets into the drums. I started to do that a little, just driving around the block, kind of dragging the trailer brakes together. They made a noticeable improvement just around the block doing that. So looking forward to better trailer brakes, and then a lot of packing. Jeff, yes.
Can I say something that's slightly embarrassing?
What's that?
I have zero understanding on how trailer brakes work. Never looked at them. Never had them apart.
Did we
No
have
idea.
a trailer brake episode?
I don't know if we went that deep into it. All right, well, let's do 3 minutes.
We had a trailer episode, but we never had. I think it was misadventures in trailering.
Like
Oh.
I
never
understand
had a trailer
the
brake episode.
electronics part of the trailer brakes because I've played with that. But what's inside the wheel hub? Not
Sure.
a clue.
We'll do 3 minutes, quick and easy. So a standard electric trailer brake setup is a drum brake that has an actuating arm lever that kind of curves on the front side of the brake, the leading edge of the brake, curves around all the way to kind of the bottom of the middle where there is an electromagnet. That electromagnet, once it gets some power to it, obviously magnetizes, attracts to the drum. There's a flat face on the inside of the drum that the magnet rides on. So when that attaches itself to the drum, depending on how much voltage you put in it, it depends on how hard it attaches to the drum. So when the drum's rolling forward, it grabs the magnet and pulls the magnet backwards. By doing that, it pulls on this lever arm that then expands the adjuster at the top of the brake shoes to push the shoes out into the drum. So instead of the hydraulic wheel cylinder at the top of the shoes, right, it's a lever arm that has a cam that expands the drums. And that lever arm is actuated by the motion of the wheel pulling on the magnet, which pulls on the lever, which actuates the cam, which has the drums.
So as the team drum brake expert, that's pretty much how parking brakes on drum brakes work. There's a lobed cam that will push the shoes out.
Totally.
But it's pushing 2 shoes. There's only 1 shoe in a trailer brake.
No, there's 2. It's a normal one, but it pushes on both. It's just like a mechanical wheel cylinder that's powered by a dragging magnet on a lever arm.
Which makes sense because basically pulling the parking brake is a mechanical brake.
Yep. And they notice that they don't work in reverse. So when you go to, which is actually nice, when you go to back your trailer, they're not turning on because then the magnet's going the other way and that can't really do anything.
And so the magnet touches the braking surface of the drum, you're saying?
Not the braking surface, but the vertical surface of the drum.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So
the outer
like the faceplate.
Right. The outer part of the drum is still all friction surface. Like that part looks exactly like every drum brake you've ever seen.
Like the inside of a wheelbarrow.
Yep.
The barrel of a wheel, not a wheelbarrow. Like
but then the vertical face, like outside of the hub, is where the magnet surface is.
Got it. I'm loving this. I'm ready to take mine apart.
Okay, this was what you working on went.
Sorry, it was
really
a good excuse
long.
to talk about brakes.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
actually when we get to me It's a little topical.
Okay.
Ooh.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm done. Jeff, what are you working on?
I removed the sound generator from my Veloster N, which is, at the base of the windshield, and it's, to make it sound cool because it doesn't sound cool
Yeah.
enough. And when they get out of whack, which happens very quickly, according to the internet, it sounds like when the vibrator is hitting your teeth, which I'm not really sure what it sounds like because it's been years. Never mind that. I would describe it as a loud fart on a hard chair at Watt. It would be like,
Excellent.
anyway. So 4 little body clip Christmas trees, reach your chopstick fingers in, unplug that sucker. The car is 1,000 times better. I don't know why it ever came with it. Hyundai, get rid of that shit. It's terrible.
Okay.
The people on the forums are saying it vibrates the rear view mirror right off the windshield.
That's a shame.
Okay.
So bam, it's gone. I also Jim was like, hey, could you help me, go unearth the RV and maybe we got to start the Miata and move the Miata. So I got there and Jim felt that there was some clutch hydraulics that was wrong with his NC Miata. We bought this at the end of last year to be a little track rat kind of deal. And it took me about 10 seconds. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. It took us a very long time to get it started because the battery was dead. And there is no way to turn off the alarm system that has an immobilizer. So for a little while, we could only get it to run for like a second or two. But as soon as I got that all defeated, which it's still not defeated, it's just we made it run without it. 10 seconds to figure out that, no, it's a bad throwout bearing. It sounds like a box of rocks in the center of his transmission, and the motor loads, and he can't shift in. So guess what we're doing later this spring? Whew. But anyway, so we had to do all that to get that out of the way of the RV, which has also been sleeping all winter. Check it off your bingo card. Here comes the more Wakeman problems.
I'd already checked it off. So
Yeah,
this
that's
is
true.
come on.
I don't know what it is, but the software automatically just checks that
Just
box.
checks that off.
whenever I do it.
It's like this. It's like the center square. It's not the center
Yeah.
square, but it might as well be.
So all winter, nobody's really checked to see if the circuit had flipped that keeps the batteries charged. So like all the batteries were dead. Like that's not a few of the batteries.
Oh,
Like it's
all
plugged
the
into the
batteries were dead.
house, but
It's plugged in the house. Yeah,
that,
it's got shore power, but
Yeah.
that's flipped somewhere. I don't know.
Oh.
So yeah, we had to jump start off the jump start, and it's a terrible thing. But we also had to repair a lamp on the whatever. It's all fine.
Is it gonna
the
work?
RV is ready. Oh no, it's all ready now.
Oh, good.
Is there a roof still on it?
The roof is still on it. Everything is as a little musty and dusty because winter it does that, and you got to kind of get it aired out and everything. But it's ready to roll. We had to check all the tires. The tires are reaching the. You need to check those every year to make sure there's no dry rot age. And there is zero dry rot, zero anything that looks like anything is going wrong at the moment. And they're 8 years old according to the date code, so they're probably going at the end of the season, no matter what.
That's a good, safe thing to do.
Okay.
The last thing you want to do is have a blowout one of your steer tires on the RV while
Yeah.
driving down I-95 with
And
a trailer.
I was gonna say, in future news, Jeff tells us about how he had to change an RV tire on the side of one of the busy highways on the way to in JMP.
The nice thing is the RV comes with its own jack system. You just put the leveler down.
In other news, and this may derail us again in the middle of what you're working on. 20 minutes short of buying a Lemons car.
You were?
I was. So I
Wow.
made an offer on a Honda Prelude that was in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, I saw
And
that.
I
I sent that to you
You
guys.
sent that to us, absolutely. Because again, zero faith that we're gonna get anything
Things
done on that.
things that are never on your bingo card. Chris is an enabler.
No, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The guy said took a deposit 20 minutes ago. I said, well, if he flakes, you got my number. He said, absolutely. So
He did
he
not.
texted me a couple days later that the guy came through. So
Mm,
no
That thing is
Prelude.
cheap.
It was cheap.
mm.
If you have something out there that's a non BMW that you're willing to sell,
Like
Give
a
me a call.
Z32 chassis. That would be
give me a
great.
call.
Anything that would take a LS swap, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, mental.
Anyway.
This one's going to be a bit long, not for the reasons you think.
We just might as well skip news and notes. We just go right to the
we
story
could.
after this.
But in good news, the Casa de Mentals is now sheetrock complete.
Oh, yay!
At least all the sheetrock's hung, and some of it is hung very, very badly.
Oh no!
But that's Vicky's problem, because she said she was going to do the finishing, but a couple of them, she looked up and said, "I'm going to need you to squirt the great stuff in there because there's no way that the tape is covering this." And the reason we did that is in preparation for the arrival of Vicky's sister, her husband, and our 2 nephews and our niece. So they got to the house. They landed at 7:30 on Monday. And at 9 o'clock, I'm at work. I'm receiving pictures of all of them in the pool, where they promptly stayed for 5 hours.
Wow. Okay.
They were unbelievably excited. And when I came home, 2 of them were sunburned because they live in Seattle, and true to form, it was pouring down rain when they left. And
what is that? Glowing orb.
Right. And they put sunscreen on all of them. But
if you stay in the pool that long, it doesn't matter.
That, and they're letting the kids do it, and the kids like, I got it. And now the kids have all learned a very important lesson about, I didn't actually have it. And
I know Vicky's lineage here. These are not exactly the least melanated people on the planet.
No, they're not. Now their dad is as white as they make them, but yeah, these are half Hispanic kids, but yeah, it was. And then I came home from work yesterday. They were they had walked up and down the strip. The parents were exhausted, and they're like, so we're getting to the pool, right? And they're in the pool. So yeah, I was in the pool last night again. So pool usage has I put tripled, but it's probably 5 times our regular stuff.
That's awesome.
So yeah, they're here for spring break. They're having a great time. They couldn't have chosen a worse week, because as I am recording from the Officers Club, because I was at work an hour early today, and I knew I wasn't going to be home in time to make the show. So I'm back to our recording from the Nellis Air Force Base Officers Club. So that's why I've got a pitcher of beer. It's been a long day. I got another one tomorrow because I'm prepping for the exercise that I'm working.
Pitcher of beer?
A pitcher of beer.
Okay.
But let's move on to adventures in car hauling, because this last Friday, I took the day off, rented an F-150, got the King Ranch version from Enterprise.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. And met Corey in Bakersfield, California, where I took possession of the Omega.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm very excited. The night prior, I had to go shuffle some cars around, make space, clear out the trailer, get the trailer hooked up, get ready to go. I had budgeted an hour and a half. It took me 4 hours to get everything on there. And of course, the janky half magic trailer is fighting me the whole way. I finally get everything done. As I am driving off base, the driver's side front tire locks up completely. Just, I don't know if it was bearing or brakes. I felt the bearing. It was very hot. And I pull over. It's 11:30 at night. I've got to be on the road by 6 a.m. I just pull the tire off and throw it off. I will figure this out when I get home. I will disassemble. I could have used that entire lesson on trailer brakes or wheel bearing or whatever it was. So that is my plan, is to spend all night working on that. And also, none of the lights are working. Not a single one. No turn signals, no brake lights. It is complete darkness as I'm towing it home. I am going to make a left turn, and the guy behind me flashes his lights, gets out of his car, and pulls up to me in the left lane. And I figure he's going to tell me, "Hey man, you got no lights on this trailer." And he says, "Hey man, do you want to trade trailers?"
What?
It is 11:30 on a Thursday night. Dude, do you want to trade trailers? And being the shrewd businessman I am, I go, "You don't want this trailer. You don't want this trailer."
I believe it's the same thing I told you when I gave it to you.
Right?
It is exactly the same thing you told me.
Yes.
And he goes, "Dude, trust me." I'm like, "It came from New York. It's very rusty." He goes, "I don't care." I go, "You see, it's got no lights on it, right?" He goes, "I can rewire it." I just had to pull a tire off because either a wheel bearing or a trailer brake seized. He goes, "I got you. I live a half a block from." I live half a block from here. So he said, you know what? Okay, only in Vegas, right? I will give it a shot. And I pull up. Now, what he has is a former pallet trailer. So the load-in height is a little high, and I had every intention of having this picture available before the show, but now I've got to go and pull a.
Oh, you're pulling a Jeff by showing a
pull
picture.
Jeff.
Oh,
I
come
know.
on.
I know. It's weak.
How
sauce,
classy are we?
but- So, and I will describe what's on there because this is the picture of the Mighty Omega.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay.
Open
Right.
deck.
Right.
Height.
It's a night open track. Now I want to give you a scale of how high this trailer is. So there it is, still hooked up to the F-150.
Oh, that's
Oh.
hot.
Oh.
And for those that are not watching
Why?
on YouTube, the trailer deck height is even with the top of the bed of the truck.
Almost, yeah.
Almost.
It's
yeah.
it's
would
it's
you
damn
say
near
that's
4 feet.
hip high on you?
No, I would say that's belly button high
Belly button high. Okay.
on the 6-foot guy. Now we had some adventures loading it onto there, but I have to be honest. Once I got the Omega on there, and I have no idea how I'm going to get it off. Once I got the Omega on there, it pulled flawlessly. It was smooth. There's some very springy parts. Once you're outside of Barstow, California, where the expansive soils make the road undulate. And that's always a terrible part. I actually lost the plumbing on my RV, bottoming out on that. And it gave me no problems. It pulls really nice. So I if I keep it, I'll cut the expansive parts and get it shrank down. But the guy traded me.
Wait, they're like you own that one now? He took
Yes.
your shit and what?
Absolutely.
Wait.
Let's do it. Let's do a paperwork check. You have no ownership paperwork for the Half Magic.
Which I told him, but it still has those New York plates on it.
Why?
Oh my
I don't
God,
like
your
this at
plates are so
all.
old. They are so old.
This is not legal.
And
Don't
he
do
gave,
what we do, kids.
and he
Just
gave
do
me
it.
a trailer, and he's like, the guy kind of sold it to me with a bill of sale. There's a Nevada plate on it. I don't know who it's registered to.
Oh,
Which
You
if
don't
I'm
have a
honest-
clue who the New York plates belong to.
Exactly.
I don't even know.
At least now,
Holy-
at least my car plates and my trailer plates match. So I'm not gonna.
this is not good.
I think this is fantastic.
I mean,
So I get over to his apartment complex where he's got this trailer backed over there, and we swap them out. And it turns out I had to get a new receiver ball, which he had one because I had the
who is
load.
this guy? He just wants to be friends with you at 11:30 at night.
He just wanted my trailer. He's a car flipper, and this is a little bit easier to load a car onto. And
well, maybe that.
I don't feel guilty at all because I told him all of these things. I have no paperwork. That hub is bad. None of these lights work. This thing is covered in rust. This door doesn't open anymore. These
You
fenders are
have
falling off.
Improved some things, but downgraded in some other areas.
Yeah. I
Because
think your
having
best
the
bet is
giant box was really
Yeah.
helpful. But that box had lots of bees and rust holes in it.
Yes,
So that makes it less helpful.
It was
you know?
there was less and less stuff you can store, and then one of the doors quit opening.
I'm
So
sure.
I think your best
Sure.
bet is going to be to sell this new trailer.
yes, but it was just
And-
I came home and Vicky goes, "What happened to the other trailer?" Not that I'm sad. Not that I'm sad.
Not
It's
that I'm
gone.
sad. The worst
And I'm
tra-
like,
I should say that. That's the Half Magic trailer was
it is magic. It was
it-
half
it
magic.
seemed to work.
It did a lot of great things.
Yeah.
I do not feel bad about it, but yeah, for what exactly I needed at exactly that moment, I needed a trailer that worked, that had lights, and was going to be able to load a car. Now, later we'll show the pictures on the gram of us trying to load the Omega. At one point, the lever, because it's so high up, the lever is so bad, it pulled off the ball of the truck. and was only being held by the safety chain. So we had to wrench the Omega till we got to a balance point where I could undo the safety chain, move the very expensive rented truck. Then we got the Omega all the way onto the trailer, got it flat, got it hooked back onto the ball, and Corey laughed. We went to lunch and it went on my merry way.
I
But
see some really long ramps in your future.
I see a lot of, I'm going to be cutting the expansive part and putting that trailer back down to a much more normal
Can you
level, because
Email
I'm
me
not
that
driving.
picture
Yeah.
from your phone. I
will-
want to see
We
I
this
will
thing
not-
just freak.
I will not be driving a 4,000 pound 76 Oldsmobile down 8-foot ramps 4 feet up. Just not going to happen. So
Yeah.
I will send you
Wow.
guys this picture in just a couple of seconds we go through, but it was the perfect ending to the saga of the Half Magic trailer, because it turned out to kind of be half magic. And now it is on to entirely new adventures for an amateur car flipper he's a competent mechanic, and he'll probably make everything work on it and be really, really happy with that trailer. He's got it was a box truck that he pulled the box off of. That's what he uses to tow. So he's got something that'll haul the weight around, because that was a heavy trailer.
And Vicky probably doesn't have to curse me every third day anymore for giving you that trailer.
Exactly. And with the height on this one, it's not exactly as enabling as the previous. Oh yeah, just go over there and get this piece of junk car. It'll be fine. But at 11:30 on a Thursday night, making a left turn, I got approached for a guy that wanted to trade his sketchy illegal trailer for my sketchy illegal trailer. And that only happens in Vegas.
That's sketchy.
Yeah.
News and notes. We're so late. Make
Oh
it
my
quick.
God.
Go.
We have so talk fast.
Yeah, we'll go quick. Hey, we all wept for all the Lambos, Porsches, and everything on the Felicity 8th car boat that sunk. Apparently Top Gear dug up some interesting things that were also on board. There was a self-propelled mower, 220,000 pounds of used tractors that would have been better used in Ukraine, and a handful of other used cars like a Cayenne, a Ford Mustang, a Kia Soul.
No, not the Soul.
Oh, it gets better. A Nissan Versa Note, which is actually much better used at the bottom of the ocean.
Some fish is very excited
Right, a 17
Lots of
Jetta,
fish.
and a car that has absolutely zero value in any way, shape, or form as 2007 BMW 7 Series. So
It's probably why
that's
why it went down.
Apparently, also there was a '96 Honda Prelude that was only the 65th Prelude SIR ever built. That's a shame. Anyway, next.
Just a few weeks ago, we had Jake from Out Motorsports on our show. Loved having him on there, and the good folks over at Apex the Jetsons had him on as well. Worth the watch. But one of the great stories he told was his Porsche Cayenne diesel, which was a Dieselgate buyback 2013 model that he uses as his tow pig. Now, a small oil leak led to what ultimately was a complete overhaul of the engine. And on outmotorsports.com, he has the conclusion of that saga. Here's the short version, but still go over there and read the story. Link will be in our notes. The bill was $12,310.
Wow.
The total cost to Jake, nothing.
Nice. Amazing. All right.
Warranties are cool sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes.
Mhm.
All right. You know that we love some F1 at E1R. Mitchell was awakened last week from texts from all of our buddies saying that asking to stay at his place for the F1 race that's now going to be in Las Vegas next November. And of course, I was like, yeah, we should get press passes. We'll see about that. As we learned at Auto Week, the Las Vegas race is only beginning of a series of changes coming to the money. I was going to say monkey, money circus, same thing. F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali,
Yep. Right.
has already said that the American market is a massive focus for the sport. We know that. In that light, understand that Las Vegas race is signed event for another 3 years. What? Austin is guaranteed for another 5. Miami has a 10-year deal with Formula One, but watch for more changes as comments from McLaren CEO indicate. I would prefer Monaco to stay on the calendar, but just as the sport as a whole is bigger than any F1, any individual driver or team is also bigger than any individual Grand Prix. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Monaco's got to stay. Next story. David Tracy and Jason Torchinsky. We talked about them. We talked that you're going to have a new website. The new website is up. It's Autopian. I'm going to guess that is how you would pronounce it. Autopian.com. There's a whole bunch of really cool articles.
The Autopian.
The Autopian, excuse me. The Autopian. There's all kinds of very cool articles on it. It started Monday, March 28th. It's totally worth a look. There's the Lotus SUV. Let's see what else is there. The Lane Car Museum. A good thing about the restoration car facilities there. A review of the Nissan E-Force. Check it out. Link in the show notes. Let's keep moving on.
Read what the E-Force is. Read what the Nissan E-Force is.
The electric ramen, like little truck, little tiny thing.
Yeah, like an RC car, but it's autonomous and delivers ramen to your table.
Oh, it's autonomous. I missed that. Oh, yes. Nissan's that is the most interesting thing that Nissan is building right now.
Facts.
All right, before we go any further, I'm going to share screens on Bethel's stinky ass trailer.
Oh, I've already been looking at my phone.
Me too.
You're never getting that car off. You're gonna have to get Harry Potter to magic that shit off.
All right.
So-
what are we looking
That
at here?
one does not do it justice.
So the height, well, first off, I see an issue already. I can see the
Those
height. The
wheels
height-
were not
Just
pointed
one?
the
No,
same way.
This wheel is, trailer wheels aren't supposed to have a lot of camber, and that's got some camber. And I see that the deck height is approximately even with the belt line of the, I think, Toyota Camry next to it.
Oh no,
So that's-
it's like even with
That-
the side
gives you a
view
pretty
mirrors,
good
that
idea.
Camry.
Yep.
Good eye identifying that because that's even a beige Camry.
Oh well,
no item
hang on.
selected.
Oh.
So
I
good.
gotta go get. I'll open them back up. Sorry, I don't know why I did that to that one. I had them all open. This is so tragic.
Yeah.
Let me share it
I
again.
just-
Okay, so this is loading.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
loading
yeah.
this thing,
This
it's
is
so
like,
it's a big, wide flatbed that's a complete flat deck above two axles that are spring under the axle under spring axles.
Yeah.
This picture is showing that trailer with its short little stubby ramps onto.
Oh no, those
Corey's
aren't my ramps. Those are Corey's ramps
Yeah,
off
yeah,
of his
totally.
trailer.
But it's Corey's ramps from his like decent auto
Normal
hauler,
trailer.
and it's trying to back the Omega from Corey's trailer onto this trailer because that's the only way you can possibly get it on there without a giant forklift. Okay.
this is silly nannies level.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like silly.
Except they had
nannies.
longer ramps. All right, next.
And they
This-
were drunk and Russian.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
saw these ones already. So
Okay,
this
we
is
saw-
this is
Oh,
the
there you
next
go.
one of the Omega halfway up, and the tongue of the trailer. It's cut off a little bit, but you can see
Holy-
the distance between the trailer jack and the ground. You can see the distance in that the it's so far
Not even
down that
close.
the picture cuts off before the ground is even there. It's not even close.
Take
And now
note of
from
the
here,
one
too-
broken. Take note of the one broken safety chain from when it ratcheted up like that and departed the
Yep,
trailer hitch on
that's-
the F-150.
That's extra safe.
Okay,
here's
so
some
are
other things that I
those
happen to notice.
tires are not tires?
They're tires. They're definitely round and black.
They don't
and
have
rubber.
tread up. They don't have tread on them.
Actually, they
It's
do. No,
Vegas.
they do. It's
I think
Oh,
it's
it's
just the
Vegas.
light.
yeah.
But
okay.
I also notice here there's a pretty clear bend in the
That's
axle.
why you get
The
camera.
rear one. The front one has only a slight bend, but the rear has a solid bend to it. Yeah, that's exciting.
It's not because
Uh,
this car is a heavy bitch. No.
No, no.
I
The
think-
springs
I
aren't
think
actually
with
compressed
the-
much at all. So that's
With the
this-
camber that
Oh.
Chris is talking about, that is definitely a permanent situation with that
Yeah.
axle. Yeah.
that is a bent axle. The springs are not that all compressed, so there's nothing there. So Mental, this
You trade
You-
for crap is what you did.
yeah, but you're not fixing this, my friend.
I don't
Like-
know.
Well,
I think improvements could be made.
And even,
Well, the-
even if I don't fix this, if I literally chop it up and sell it for scrap,
No, just sell it as is. Someone else will use it like this for what they want.
fair enough.
But
yeah.
realistically, you've got to get it low enough that the wheels, you're gonna have to cut.
Oh yeah,
holes
I'm
in the
gonna have
deck
to. I'm
for
gonna
the
have to
wheels.
cut the deck out
No.
for the. Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
move it along.
No, somebody wants this, but they're not going to move cars with it.
Yeah.
They're going to move.
Oh,
other
maybe
stuff.
a golf
Move it.
cart.
Oh yeah, no, it was a pallet
yeah.
trailer. It was clearly a pallet trailer because if you notice also in that picture, they welded on the channel, the extra channel onto the side of the trailer, and then
That's where
crappy
Yeah.
crappy cut holes in it for the ratchet straps to go
Yeah.
across the pallets.
Yeah.
This is not
This-
meant to haul
This
an
is
Omega.
not worth the effort that you are considering putting into it,
But
because
there would have been
then you
more
have to
effort.
redo.
Oh
You're going to have
my
to redo
God.
the entire tongue. You're going to have to redo all the
No.
axles and all the springs. I'm sure the brakes don't
This-
work.
This
Like
thing will get
there are no-
great
there are no
farm
brakes.
service.
There
There are
are
no
no
brakes.
brakes.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
The
This is-
farmer who buys it from you will love it.
yeah, this isn't worth. It was wonderful that it got you home.
I'm
This
going
is
to
the
challenge
last
you, Mental.
Effort you shall ever put into it, aside from listing it on Facebook Marketplace.
I'm going to challenge you, Mental, to get $100 more than I sold you the half magic. I know the number. You know the number.
Ooh, okay, man. All right, challenge number
All
2, and I'm gonna have to give that one a shot. That's legit.
Yeah.
I bet you can do it. I have faith in you.
Okay.
This is
is
ridiculous.
great. We're 48 minutes in now. Well, we
Oh
started
my
a little late,
Goodness
but
gracious.
still.
The trailer was funny.
It was. Yeah.
Racing junk time. It's racing junk time.
Hey, let's just skip
We-
down to mine because mine's the best.
Okay.
It
Mental,
is.
you
Love-
read
we're
yours, and then we'll go to mine.
Look, folks, we love Racing Junk. We really, really do. And that's why we were really excited to be a part of them. You poke around there, you look at weird stuff, you actually learn some new tech, you find out what kind of auto sites are having you. They got something for everyone. And one of my new favorite activities is looking into other gearhead forums other than endurance racing. Chris.
They've got
Mm.
14 land speed record cars on there. So go look at those. Like,
That's amazing. There's a 2-frame land speed record Pontiac Fiero. It's a
Chris,
guaranteed
you
to
share.
win a record for this for the first race who tries. How do I know that? There's no other vehicle like this built in that category.
Chris
Yep.
is sharing the picture. It's a 1984 Fiero with over $80,000
Oh
invested.
my God, that's too
I
much.
have no how much it cost, but jet engines with afterburners do not come cheap. So, designed for a 1-mile oval speedway, it has thrust vectoring, which means the little fins on the back will actually change the direction of the jet thrust, just like an F-22 or a Harrier. Either way, you have to check this out. Of course, it's silver. Does it have ground effects? Yes. Does it have a cage? Yes. Does it have window nets? Yes. Will it kill you? Yes.
probably.
Definitely. Yes.
Do
But
you
what a
want
way
it?
to go. Kind of.
Well,
I kind of do. And the takeaway from this is, yeah, you should join Racing Junk. It's really not that expensive. You get ad-free experience, that kind of stuff. But if you don't want to, this particular ad is free. You can advertise on Racing Junk to sell your racing junk for nothing.
Okay.
I'm looking to see where Prairie City is.
Stop. Keep
Doesn't
going.
matter.
You're next. You're next.
I'm-
Upcoming race.
Jeff, I got to
WRL was in Mid-Ohio, 65 cars, sold out event.
Wow.
31 BMWs.
That is
Oh,
so
Boring.
boring.
Pretty boring. 6
It's
Miatas.
48%.
No,
K-swap
That's
Miata, 1. Okay.
That's
amazing.
interesting.
That's
okay.
interesting. 1 Honda, 13 Porsches,
mm.
and a pair of Veloster R specs.
Oh. Okay. Well, Lemons is at Pitt Race. Hell yeah, it is. 111 of cars we'll see out there on Saturday. 15 of them are BMWs. That's only 14%. Not so
That's-
boring.
yeah,
Good,
we'll
good.
take that.
Okay.
Fine. 8 Hondas, 2 Porsches, 2 Miatas. The oldest car in it is Rust in the Wind 63 Ford Falcon. Well, it's mostly a 63. Newest car is from the Folly from Mount Holly is a 09 Charger. There's so much other fun. Quote from Eric: a Buick LeSabre, G-body Cutlass, a Subaru Forester, and we have 3 teams that of students driving Ford Panther platform cars. All 3 Saturn twin cam models, 2 freaking Dodge Omnis. When we haven't ever even one over a year ago. Also a very special Fiero TM. and a Stellantis badged Charger. The returns of the Volix, right? Volix. I'm sorry, that Volix. And the Escudont and 2 mega swapped 1960 Fords. A whole lot of fun.
So much fun. Champ was at Road Atlanta, a whopping Road America. Sorry, it is at Road America up in Wisconsin. It's gonna be a little cold.
Ooh.
It's a long track for 34 cars. You're never going to see
4 cars.
You're never going to see anyone.
Nope.
I know.
10 BMWs, 2
Boring.
Hondas,
Oh,
9 Miatas. So 34, half of them are BMWs or Miatas. This is interesting though. There's an Audi 200 Turbo Quattro. When's the last time you saw one of those?
I don't know.
An 84 GTI, a Maxima, and 2 Neons. So
a whole lot of no fun.
Everyone's gonna just be bored.
Yep.
Like, hello. Anybody else out here?
Hi.
Hello?
Oh wait, when I look, you and at Road America, you can't even see like over there.
Not at all.
There's nothing that's like, oh, I can't see over there. There's a whole lot of trees.
And the guy in the 84 GTI better bring like a Sudoku for down the straight. Like he's got to do something.
Something.
Recent results. Let's keep it moving.
Okay, Champ celebrated their 10th annual 14 hours at Daytona. First was Danger Racing. Danger, really? Can I read? Thank you. Racing in a 94 Lexus SC300 in just a minute and 50 seconds over Team London in a 89 BMW E34 5 Series, which isn't that boring. Third place was 1 lap back, and that was Rotary Rocketeers in a, you guessed it, 90 RX-7. The Grand Marquis, which was the Airstream from Pitt Race, Airstream car from Pitt Race last year, finished 42nd, just 3 spots back was the El Camino. 98 Contour was 71st. Lincoln MK Mark 7, thank you, was 74th, which means it beat 15 cars. 5 of them were Miatas. Coincidentally, that's how many Miatas it took to equal the weight of 1 Lincoln Mark 4.
Oh,
7.
Just like last
Mark
year.
7. Yes.
AER warmed up the pit race surface for us to come down. On Saturday, Random Vandals were on top, beating both Team Saleen cars. Sunday saw the Team Saleen's 42 over Rubens Performance Garage. And third was Team Minion. So no idea what happened to the Random Vandals there. I will say that the Garage Heroes in training were there. They were 17th overall on Saturday. Hold on to your socks, people. Second in Class 2.
How many P cars were in the class? Sorry.
Well, I don't know how many cars were in the class. They were second. I know there was at least 4 because they were 4th in class on Sunday.
Well, fantastic. Top half. That's wonderful.
They were the second slowest, fastest time in the class. Who had the slowest time in the class was the car that beat them. So people, we say it all the time. Fastest does not win endurance races.
Oh, and I know we say hold on to your socks, but we've known Bill for a while, and it's not that shocking that they focused on putting together a team.
It was Alex Levinson. It's his car.
Yeah.
It is.
Bill was there as a guest driver. So, but hey, I don't know who the other 2 guys were, but nice job on you. We'll see you this weekend. Great.
Again, I'm sure everyone who listens to our show listens to their show, but there's a great wrap up of the race. Bill did not have a great weekend. Nothing broke in the car. Everybody's healthy. He had some difficulties. Keep going.
I'm sure I'll make the most of it, but let's move on to, and I'm not going to yell it because I'm in the middle of a courtyard, but let's talk about some listener. Yeah. Let's talk about some listener feedback. Over on the YouTubes, Charles P made fun of my audio here, and on the Lemons videos, which I'm standing with, it's a conspiracy theory. They don't want me to sound good on Lemons videos. Tyler S noticed that he's doing wacky things during our iRacing, but we're only noting the boring winners. And Tyler and I actually probably talk 3 times a week because he keeps finding SUVs, Suburban Sequoias and things that he wants out here in Las Vegas. And he's trying to find the perfect one so he can come out here in July and then drive it home.
All right, I posted up some goodies that will be showing up this weekend, and there is plenty of plenty of praise. Andrew S said that there's only one thing that is better than a new E1R podcast, and that is That's my mom's cookies. Erling said they look delish. And Greg was asking if there's well done cookies, which he likes. Randy is looking to trade goulash for cookies.
No,
And-
bad trade. That's almost
Now,
as bad
I
as
will say
trailer trading
everyone,
with mental.
everyone but Randy is right.
That's funny.
While we were picking up the Mazda from our offsite storage location, Chrissy posted a picture of the beautiful scenery that is generally around our offsite storage. And
Was
she
a
asked to
pretty
see,
picture.
she asked to see some other sites where you house your hoopties, and a lot of people posted. Al Jones has his not so spacious garage. Michael K has a kind of a homemade porch thing over his 2 cars. Plenty of people had lifts and fancy things like what we would dream about.
I know the other Michael K's garage is
Yeah.
it's the
Some cars
garage
were-
equivalent to your mom's cookies.
May I go now?
Yes.
Some cars came inside because they're being prepped for a race weekend like ours. And hey, so thanks for showing us your beautiful and not so beautiful storage locations. At least you have somewhere to put your junk.
Nice. Sim racing.
And we were at Bathurst, which I've never been there. I got it for this race. It was quite entertaining, I have to say.
I love that track. That's like one of my new favorites.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. If you've never tried it, give it a shot. It takes some time to learn too, to get it right. Like it's an interesting one. First race, Al Jones won. I had VR issues and started late, but I still had some fun. And Jeff finished on the lead lap. Look at you, Jeff.
Woohoo!
Second race, Aaron was the winner, only 0.63 seconds ahead of Al after a 30-minute race. Nice close racing by those two.
I'd like to mention that I definitely got knocked off track by Chris at least once.
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 We were racing tight into that corner.
I'm gonna say
I
you
stuck
probably
my
had
nose. You came over.
You had it
We
coming.
both, it was my fault. Yeah.
Chris had the line. Hey, you know who always has the line yet does not crash? Chrissy's mom. Hi, Chrissy's mom. She's like, I don't get it. Has the line? What does that mean?
That's okay. I'll tell
It
you.
means
Explain
she's-
it to her.
it means you're in the right.
Sure.
Main topic time pit race preview. I need more P's on that. All right.
Perfect
Perennial.
percussion, a perfect percussion,
Perpetual.
perennial, perpetual
Wow, okay. That's enough.
preview of the pit race.
It's enough.
So yeah,
Oh,
we're
it
going
worked.
to some of us are
Prognosticate.
going to. Half of this podcast is going to pit race for the first Lemons race of the season that will be over here in the East Coast. Yeah, it's a fantastic place. One of our favorite tracks. One of the more complex tracks that we will go to in the East. And we're going to preview it because 80% of our listeners are probably driving to the race right now as they listen.
But if you've heard this before and you say, I heard you guys do this last year. Yeah, you did. But you haven't been there in a year and you probably forgot. So this is a great time to refresh yourself. So while you're driving out there, visualize the track in your mind while we're going. Remember all the stuff that's there and help this get you back on your mindset correctly for the pit race. And if you've never been there, well, here's some things you need to know.
Yeah, Wampum, PA, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic.
Beautiful
Wampum, PA.
wampum. Hey, it's going to be freaking cold. Do we
Gonna
talk
be
about the
cold.
weather in here?
If
talk-
you
No,
want
we
to give a
can
weather
add that
report,
in.
go right
I
ahead.
will.
Yes,
You-
weather would
No,
matter.
not now. I'll do it
I'll
during
cover
my.
a few
Okay.
things.
You
and
do
then
yours.
get to it. So yeah, what do you do when you get there? Is you go in and you sign and you get all the things on the dotted line and you drive in. You drive. Do not drive too heavy because you're gonna miss the left-hand turn going into the track, and then you're gonna go up the hill. So be careful, everybody. Okay, so there is a new building. The building that was under construction is now open. It has a bunch of classrooms. It has a new and improved store. So if you're going to try and get your Pittsburgh swag, and for some reason, this is the only store at any racetrack I've ever been in that has dog leashes and dog toys, I suggest the Farting Pig. Very funny. The dogs love it. Yeah, so the paddock. The paddock is obviously just a big giant black lake like everywhere else. And there is always, when you're pulling in on Thursday night, caution tape that is separating half of the place. Why is there caution tape separating half the place? Because there's over by the karting area, basically divides in half, and they're probably going to be running an autocross or a drifting event sometime during the weekend, probably both days. So we really only get to use half of the paddock. So you really need to be careful. There is not a lot of buildings. If you rented a garage, you might be in garage A or garage B. Chris, do they have names for them?
There's the, I think, center garages and the event center garage.
Yeah.
So the ones right in the middle of the world, that's where HQ is. Those, let's call those the center garages.
Yeah.
The ones up on the hill and the big building that is brown up on the hill, that's the event center. Those are amazingly called the event center garages.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there is like a meeting room above the event center if you've ever been
Yes.
to, you
That
know,
is
a
the event
track
center, is the
weekend
meeting
and
room.
all those. Yeah, obviously. But yeah, you might have had a barbecue there or something like that. So, you have to know where if you have rented a garage, make sure you go to the right one. If you have not rented a garage, those spaces outside the garage are not for you. If you have not rented power, those spaces that have power are not for you. There
And
is
those are
very little.
those are red. They're outlined with red.
Yep. Yep.
And don't
And-
park right near one and steal someone else's power. How about that?
Yes. Those power, there's only, I think, 4 or 6 power
Did they-
spots.
Did they put our names on them for this race?
did,
Okay.
they did,
Yeah.
they-
so
they-
there's
they put
cones,
cones.
like they're
It'll
cones
have
that are
a-
like this big,
Yeah,
like
they're like 4 inches tall.
tiny cones.
And they'll have a piece of paper taped to it. That is not to be ignored because that is a reservation. So please, please do not bogart somebody else's power. Let's see what else.
If you
Oh,
ask nicely, they'll probably let you plug in.
Yeah, but don't steal it.
Do that. Right.
Let's see what else we got here. Oh, waiver. I said go in and sign, or maybe you don't have to sign because you've already signed the waiver. It is electronic waivers, everyone. Don't forget, you can sign the waivers before you get to the track.
Not can, have to.
Have to.
This is
for
e-waivers
Pittsburgh-
only for the track.
For the track, I was going to mention that. Lemons waivers, they still will have a piece of paper to sign, but the
If you don't show up
e-waivers
on the
is for track.
e-waiver, she's going to make you bust out your phone while you're
And
waiting
sit
in
there.
line and holding everyone else up. This is something you could do on the way. This is something you do while you're filling up your toe pig.
I did it tonight.
All right. What else do we want to say?
Well, so I
Sign
got
the damn waiver before
Yeah.
you get to the track. It's
Seriously.
only electronic. Yeah.
and
It's
that's
not hard.
That's a
You need your
thing that
driver's license number though.
you do need that. We're talking about the lemon staff. Did you just give out your personal information on a podcast that is broadcast all over
It
the
is.
world?
It is searchable, and if anybody wrote that down, good luck.
All right. Lemon staff. Now, we put this in here, which is don't be a dick. But I'm willing to bet that if you're listening to this podcast, you already know that. You're not going to be a dick. So I'm going to challenge our listeners to not just not be a dick, but be a mentor. If you see someone being a dick, don't walk over and yell at them and call them out in front of everyone. Give them an opportunity to save face, because chances are either they're a serious racer or they're new. And you have the opportunity to be the great social experiment that lemons racing is, and kind of, figuratively put your arm around their shoulder and go, hey man, that's kind of a jerk thing to do. And here's why, blah, blah, blah. Even if they blow you off, they'll probably process it later on and realize I am kind of being a jerk. Especially true because they're going to have the autocross. They're going to have the drifters out there. Pitt Race is one of those tracks that aggressively pursues bringing lemons to the track because of the type of people it attracts. And let's make sure as enthusiasts, we maintain that reputation. They love having us there because aside from, backing into a door every now and again, we take care of the place and we're enthusiastic. To that end, testing day is owned by the track. That is not a lemons testing day. So in addition to, you'll have to sign the tracks waivers, you'll have to have the track inspect your car before you go into BS and tech for lemons. You're going to be sharing that testing day with non-lemons cars. Last year, what was there? There was a 68 Corvette 427. It was a gorgeous piece of equipment. And we're like, oh, you poor fool. You have really brought the wrong car to this event. So while you're on the track, it's a testing day. You're not racing. Don't be a jerk on the track and appreciate some of the nice hardware that they'll bring out there. And we'll talk about preferred bribes. Go ahead, Chris. Yeah.
It is not the 68 Corvette out there with you. It is split sessions. So there's the normies session and then the lemon session. So essentially,
I'm so glad that I'm not a normie.
Yeah. So if you're if you're going to do this, essentially you get 5 20-minute sessions, and sign up for this is at Pitt Race's website. And if you go to the event page for this on Lemon's site, it gives you a link to where on Pitt Race it is to sign up for testing day.
And it's $300, right?
I think so.
Okay.
It's not our favorite format, but it's actually not the worst format either. 5 20-minute sessions is a really good test. You can get some things settled. If you've got a new driver, they can kind of orient themselves.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, if it's a new car, a new build, it's worth the time to put on the track. That's true.
Yeah. So preferred bribes. Now, I actually sat there with my in-laws and they wanted to know where all this alcohol came from. And this is just from last year. And alcohol.
How about the picture on the wall that's in the hallway?
Alcohol is an easy bribe. What almost every lemons judge I know truly enjoys is something you created and something personalized, especially if it's regional. The painting, the Lemons Rick painting that I had, or the one that we showed last week when we were talking about NOLA with Eric on there, and they had the Samurai Rick painting that was created as well. What's the famous donut shop in Pittsburgh there, Jeff?
Well, it's not in Pittsburgh. It's just south of the track. It's called Orum's Donut Shop.
Yeah,
Orum's Donuts.
Yeah.
Put a little thought and a little heart into that.
Donnie Iris jokes always win.
Yeah, exactly. odd car or culture books that you found at the resale store just down the street, that sort of thing. Also, bear in mind, most of the judges are traveling, so it should be small and carryable with them. And don't forget, not just the judges, but you can bribe Kim. In fact, that'll get you a lot of points with the judges if you're bribing Kim, or you're bribing Dale, or you're bribing Ken, who are the folks that keep you alive during all of those races. And the last thing is, because you're sharing this facility with drifters and autocrossers, don't be afraid to go over there and be a little proselytizing. Oh man, dude, I see this drift car you built. We run some interesting cars over here every now and again, and maybe just think about getting them to dip their toes into that amateur endurance racing bed. And finally, it's a really great go-kart track. It's really well run. Go over there, take a couple laps on the go-kart track, throw down with your buddies, throw down with your teammates. You're going to have a good time. Pitt Race is I'm upset that I'm not going to make it in there. It's a great facility. It's a great time. It's even the little gas station / restaurant at the end of, if you drive down that winding road to get away from the track where everyone goes to fill their jugs, even that's a great place. They have good salads, very fresh produce, and everywhere you're going there,
Keno.
Yeah, there you go. Everywhere you're going to go,
they have ice.
That's funny. That's
we always
not
go there to get ice.
Right? What?
I lived in Nebraska. Keno's like a way of life.
Oh, okay.
Everywhere you're going to go in wampum, you are representing, and I hate to be that guy, but you're representing lemons. And just by virtue of not being one of the serious racers, you're already making us look better. But kind of remember that, because there's a reason they like having us at that track.
I'm going to say one more thing right before we toss off, and then I'm probably done until we get to the track walk. If you have a hotel room near the track, just cancel that reservation right now, because that is a dump. If it is within like 5 miles of the
there's
track,
the one track, the one that we stayed up way up on the hill, that wasn't too bad. It wasn't the best, but
Lemons is 2 exits up. That's where the staff.
Oh, okay. We stayed 2 exits up.
2 exits is about the right distance from the
track.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely
right. Find a national chain.
And also, what's the sandwich shop there? That's
Permante's.
Grab you some Permante's, because that's totally worth it. It's now right close to the track is actually a surprising amount of really good food. But the hotels are probably a little sketch.
Oh, they're not a little sketch. They're a lot sketch.
You saw my trailer, right? We're just talking different.
Go ahead, Chrissy.
Okay, so let's talk about bathrooms. So there are a couple. We're talking about facilities on track, and then a little bit off track. We'll tack onto a little bit what Mental said. So there are bathrooms. There are 3 sets of bathrooms. Oh, well, there might be. Is there some in the new building? I don't know anything about the new.
I don't know.
I'm sure there is, but I don't know anything about the new building. So I'll talk about the 3 that I know. So there are a set of bathrooms in the classroom, which is close. That is the part of the tower that is close to the track. You should look at a track map and a paddock map of where everything is in relation to things. So there is a tower, and that has some bathrooms.
The classroom, you mean? The one right by
the classroom. No, the classroom, yeah, right. Where the tower is, there's a little classroom and there's bathrooms on the side. Yeah. So there's some bathrooms over there. There are some awesome bathrums over near where the drifter is going to be, where the go-karts are. There are some showers over there. They're usually pretty quiet. I don't even want to tell you where these bathrooms are because they're my favorite. So, right. So they're pretty good over there. And then there's also a set of bathrooms up in the event center. So the event center has a whole bunch of garages, as we talked about. They have showers and bathrooms up there as well. They're right near the stairs. So there's kind of winding stairs. They're going right up to the event center, and there's some bathrooms over there. Yes, Chris.
They're also in the center garages where HQ is with showers.
That's true. There are. Thank you so much. Yes, Mental.
Black Flag will also be in those center garages.
Thank you.
That Chris and Chrissy just mentioned. And
right.
It is a long drive to get to Black Flag. And if you get Black Flag, sometimes you're irritated. It is still a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit in the paddock. And given how the paddock is laid out, you really, really need to adhere to that, because everyone to Pitt Race, they bring their dogs, they bring their kids. Just take a breather, man. Go slow.
And those paddocks right along the pit row, it's really long and pretty narrow. So everybody kind of packs in. So it's really hard to see people if they're crossing the road and wandering around there. So that's good. Good point. Thank you. Track food was my next point. There is usually a track barbecue
truck trailer. Yeah, good.
Don't know. I think it lives there, but don't know. So whatever don't plan on bringing your food. That's just really the easiest. I'll get you. I can actually just interject here. Potluck is going to be on Saturday night. So bring your food, and you can you should really just bring the rest of your food, bring a grill, all that's good stuff. No open fires, that kind of stuff. But just bring your food. That's a better idea. But potluck Saturday night in Black Flag, where we're just talking about in those center garages, do not bring some food for your team. Bring enough food for your team. So if you have 4 people, bring a nice size plate of food. Do not bring a half-eaten pizza. Do not bring a half bag of chips. That will annoy me, and I will send you away and say you cannot eat. And then you can just stick in line. I'll just be mad at you. Bring some sides, maybe. We do have a spreadsheet that's out there. It's really pretty full. We've got some really awesome food that's already coming. Bring beer. Sure. That sounds great. Do not try to avoid some store-bought potato salad, because we get a lot of that. But yeah, we're going to have potluck on Saturday. It's going to be awesome.
Lots of cups already, Mental.
Yeah, just bring the beer.
Plates, knives, forks, stuff like that.
Nope. Don't bring those.
Don't bring that.
Don't bring those.
But you did put a spreadsheet on the.
There is a spreadsheet. Yeah, there's a spreadsheet, but it's pretty full. There's a lot of people. It brings homemade things. Bring some stuff. Make some macaroni and cheese quick and bring it with you, and then heat it. And bring
there's always room for a little bit more dessert or a little bit more meat.
There, neither actually, because there is a pig coming.
Oh.
The chef Brian is making a pig, and I made enough cupcakes for most of the paddock.
Oh,
so
this is an E1R run potluck. There's never going to be enough room. We
I'm just saying.
Meat and dessert covered.
Right. All right. So we talked about stuff around the track. We talked about where to get gas, or there's a great place to get gas. Actually, there is gas on site if you need it. It's an emergency. I'm sure it's going to be very expensive. Going off track is going to be a little bit further, because there's a long pit road to get out of the track. And then once you get to the main street, if you go straight down the main street, chances are you pass it on your way in, but there is a little gas station. They're pretty nice. As Mental said, I didn't know anything about the inside. but they're pretty clean and they have Keno. So you should just stop there. Just kidding. I don't like Keno. There is Sheets just south of the turnpike or the little station, like I just mentioned. There is fueling the hot pits. This is really important. So make sure you bring a cart because wherever your paddock, chances are it's gonna be freaking far
Really
away
far,
from where
yeah.
freaking far away from where you're going to do your hot pits. So there is a hill. Bring a cart, bring a scooty, bring a jazzy, do whatever you can. And like I said, the track pumps are over near karting and that gas station around. Yes, go ahead.
The place fills up. The event, so people are usually parked for further away than they want. And if you're in the event garages, like, yeah, I got a garage, I'm real close.
No.
Yeah, you're not. And it's up ahead.
You can see the track from the event garages.
Yes. I actually love the
Wonderful.
event garage.
Beautiful, but you are very far away. So chances are like we will probably bring the scooter and the little cart and probably pull our cart with our scooter because it's that far away. So yeah, really pretty kind of miserable. You get a lot of steps at this kind of track because everything's kind of spread out a little bit. All right. Anything else on the facilities that I might have missed? Okay. So, weather report. Here's the weather report. Let me put my little tight dress on like all the little weather ladies do. All right. Thursday night the rain is going to be ending at 8 p.m. Low of 36. Plus calm wind.
Oh God.
Oh
no.
yeah. Oh, it gets better. Oh, just hold on. This is maybe mental not being at this race is not going to be so bad. It's going to be freaking cold. Friday showers out after 90% of that. So it's going to be freaking cold. Raining, high of 52. Saturday, rain likely after 10 a.m., high of 46, low of 32. Sunday, so y'all aren't going to really be missing much. Sunday, Sunday's gonna be a great day. Sunny, high 46. So you best, gonna be freaking cold. There's not gonna be, Bring your jackets, bring your rain jackets, bring your galoshes, bring your hats, and we're not gonna see a whole lot of skimpy costumes around this place because it's gonna be freaking cold. Yes, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say I love racing in the rain. I hate racing in the cold rain. Has it ever really been sunny for an entire Pittsburgh race weekend?
My
With lemons,
first,
no, but
my first one that I ever did with you guys, it wasn't warm, but it was sunny. Because I didn't have to deal with the rain until I tried to kill myself in the TR when it was welded diff. Yeah. And it is, and I know Chris, you're going to cover this on your turn by turn, but when it rains that long, there are rivers that will start to develop. There are just spots that
we can talk about those. That's a good idea. Add them. Well, there's a really good couple rivers that are going to happen. Yeah. Good call. All right, Chris, let's talk about the track.
All right, I'm going to share a map. Chris, do you care which
I've already
map?
got it. Let me do it. Because then I can point my mouse to where I'm talking about.
That's fine. I just thought you want to have your notes up at the
I
same
don't have
time.
any notes.
I don't know if you know this, Jeff, but Chris is a NASA instructor for the Great Lakes region. So
not like we've raced here before.
This isn't the best map because, this is a good one. All right, we'll use this one. Okay, this is the full course at Pitt Race, 2.8 miles-ish, 19 turns. It is a lot of fun. There's good elevation changes. There's plenty of room for passing. There's plenty of high-speed stuff. It's a great track. So we'll start on the straight. You're coming down the straight. The straight is downhill as you go past start finish. Well, actually, should we start in paddock first? Let's start in paddock.
That feels logical.
Yeah,
to get onto the track.
We're coming out.
I think they make you, for lemons, go out onto the track to the north side of the tower building, the brown tower building. You go through.
That is correct. The giant parking lot where you will grid.
Yeah, through the grid parking lot. And that's how you get out onto that. Watch over your shoulder as you go for cars coming off the track, though, because you were kind of entering traffic there. When you're coming off the track, it's all the way down by turn 1. You come off the track and you have to drive all the way through the paddock to get back to wherever you might be going. So if you go into the grid, go on to the track the pit lane. There you go. The words are good. Go into pit lane. It brings
Words
you
good.
to the inside of turn 1. And this is really critical that you stay in your blend line, because your blend line goes basically all the way to turn 2, which is a crest of a blind hill. And there's going to be cars coming around the outside of you, and they won't be able to see you through the corner and up to the hill unless you stay there for the blend line. And then some people are going to clip the blend line, if not a little bit more than clip. So be careful of that. Mental.
And clipping that blend line, even when there's not a car, if the corner worker catches you, is going to result in a conversation with the judges.
Yeah. It's on race weekends, like NASA weekends, you see everyone run over the blend line. I don't think it really slows you down much you can come to real close to it, but you don't need to cross it at all.
You really shouldn't be there if you're doing the turn right.
Nah.
Now you're trying to pass somebody,
Yeah.
traffic.
All right, so let's back up and go to the straight and talk about turn 1. Now that we've talked about how to get onto the track. So main straight is downhill past start to finish. And then right about the 300-foot board, it starts to go uphill. And then at the 100-foot board, it crests and goes downhill again. So you need to understand where to use that hill for your braking, and that you can brake pretty late, but know that once you get past the 1, you're going to lose some of that braking. This is also a corner in turn 1 that you can't see your way all the way through. It is deceptive. It makes you want to overslow. But even I have a hard time like puckering up, just go through the corner, get through it, because there's a huge amount of space on the other side of that corner. Like the track actually widens up because one of the old configurations used to kind of not make this hard left-hand turn. So there's a lot of room over there. So, be brave when you go through that corner. You could probably make it with more speed than you think. Yes, Jeff.
I did track days with my NA Miata. The Miata guys lift. Some of you slower guys might be able just to brush. I didn't mean to genderize that. Drivers might need to brush.
It's fine.
Their hair. Yes.
No.
Good.
Brush
The
brakes. Brush brakes.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Ballerina toe.
So
I
one,
cannot.
you can go through it faster than you think you can. If you're not on the gas by the apex, you've done it wrong, because you totally can, because this leads you into another nice long straight.
We have 111 cars, so you might have to brake a little bit before that, because
Sure.
there's a lot of cars
Traffic
around.
is-
so
traffic
just-
is traffic. Yep.
Sorry, I'm talking most ideal in this kind
Got
of
it.
stuff. We
Got
all
it,
know
got it.
traffic's going to ruin all of it.
Sure.
So if you're on the gas at the apex, you're going to carry that gas all the way down the hill, up over the crest of 2, and then down a long hill coming into the 3-4 left-right complex. It's a big straight. You can brake later than you think down here. I think I usually end up braking around like the 200 board. And you need to brake pretty well for this, because turn 3-4, you're going to give up turn 3 to do 4 correctly. So brake nice and hard coming into 3. And when you turn into 3, you are not going to track out at all. You're going to turn right along the curbs on the left-hand side and stay on the left-hand side. And while you're turning that left, you are now looking down to the right, because this goes down the hill around 4. And it is a pretty significant drop there. And there might be something going on. Like someone might have been spinning in that corner. You need to look down that hill and see what is going on. And let me get through just a bit, and I'll get to you guys. So because then you need to get back gently onto the gas as you roll over slightly the curbing on the inside of 4. It is a fairly friendly wide curb. It's okay to touch, but the curbing on the outside is not, and you don't want to touch it. So if anything, when in doubt, late apex 4, so that you're not kissing the curbing on the outside, which is a rumbly curb and will probably put you into the dirt. Okay, Mental, I think you were first.
I hate the concept of a throwaway corner. One of the worst fights Chris and I ever had was over the idea of a throwaway corner. He is 100% right. There is only one corner that I actually agree that is a throwaway corner, and it is corner 3.
I was just going to say, it is amazing how easy and how often people spin in this 3-4. I spun the Miata in 3-4 on a track day with no one around me. We all know that this is the famous place where one of our teammates was touching their junk and put the Cressida.
That was New Jersey. That was New Jersey.
No, it was
Wrong
here.
track. No,
was
it
New
was New
Jersey.
Jersey.
No, the Cressida went off here.
It was New
New
Jersey
Jersey.
with Pantless Matt.
The Cressida went
Right.
off here also.
Well, it was not with
Okay.
Pantless Matt.
Not with Matt.
No.
You're right, because
Different.
Matt wasn't here for Chris.
No.
Jeff, just accept and move on. Okay.
Somebody put the Cressida off here. I
Accept,
saw it.
accept and move on. Great. Anything else?
That was it.
Okay, great. All right. So coming out of 4, your position on track is all about lining you up for the 5-6 complex now. So you're going to track most of the way up, but not all. Then come back toward the middle of the track, but no more than the middle, so that there's a kink here. You're straightening out that kink. You want your car to be along the left-hand side of the track, coming into the bottom of the hill at 5. This is also a place where you will find a river if it is raining, a big flowing river across the track. So here you want to get, again, straight with the left-hand side of the track coming into 5. And that way you can brake in a straight line there, because you're going to be carrying a pretty good amount of speed down this hill because it's a solid downhill and you're going to speed right up. And turn 5 is a hard right-hander at the bottom of a hill that has a little bit of camber to it at first, but that camber goes away. So you need to make sure to use all of that suspension compression and camber that you have at the bottom of 5 to get yourself going up the hill for 6 and losing as little speed as possible. Yes, Chrissy.
This is one of the turns. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I
And
just
my
took a
turning
water.
point here is usually around the end of the curbing on the left-hand side is about where I turn in. And I usually just throw the car into it.
I really
Love it.
struggle with looking up the hill, like looking all like at where the words split 1. Like I really need to look up the hill. I do not. I tend to like look at the ground, the apex, because you're kind of like down in this valley, and then you're not like looking all the way up the hill, because you can get on the gas so much faster if you're looking up the hill. So just
You're absolutely right. And I see this with my students when we're coming through that corner, they're having a hard time. I will just stare and watch their eyes, and sometimes,
Mhm.
and I can see they're not looking anywhere up the hill. I say, look up the hill. They do. And all of a sudden they go to the gas because
Yeah.
they can see their way
This
through
is
the
one of
corner.
those things I cannot get out of my own head to be like, okay, there's the apex. Okay, great. If I looked up almost like 2 seconds, actually not even moments. So look up the hill.
Yeah. Throw the car into the corner after you braked, get on the gas, look up the hill. You can clip toward the inside of 6. That's fine. You don't always
It's
need
wide
to.
here. It's wide.
But the problem is, everyone ends up pushing wide toward the outside of 6, and there's a rumble curb there, and there's a little ditch there. Careful of that, because if you go a little too hot, you will easily push your way out, because on the way up the hill, you lose all the camber in the corner. So you have a lot less. So you just went from a place with all of the traction, and now you have a place with not that much. So you get your turning done down low, not up high. It's going to work out better for you. And then you go up the hill. Mental.
And exactly both what Chris and Chrissy were saying, because he's watching the eyes, people are going through there. That's a great place to make a pass. You do everything Chris just said, and then get it on the inside, and notice as everyone is screwing this turn up and they're all scared, you can get a good power on run up that hill. And that is a really good, smart, safe, and effective place to pass.
I would go on the inside.
Yeah,
Pass on the inside.
And you'll watch them. You're like, oh, this idiot's going to go right to the outside. When I was driving the TR, and this is where I had my, driving the crack car revelation, but because every time you get on the gas, all I was seeing was sky, but I knew because I was on the inside, everyone else was drifting to the outside, and there's a lot of good effective passing over there.
Yeah.
Which I know Chris doesn't need the validation of me saying that he's right, because he's right. But for folks who might be listening, he is actually a NASA instructor at this track. So yeah.
There's also a very important flag station here on the left-hand side. As you're coming up the hill, you've got to look at this flag station. There's a couple flag stations here that you have to look at. And this is one. You have to look at this one, because you're going over a completely blind crest. You have no idea what's on the other side of it. So you need to look at that, because there could be a very slow car right over that hill, and you're never going to see it. Or no one's really going to spin by that point, but still, like all kinds of weird things happen, and you're on a blind hill. And if you have a slow car, just stay predictable and deal with it till you get to the top of the hill.
Yeah.
All right, so
this is going to suck the horsepower and the torque from whatever you think you're driving, and it's yeah,
it's a tough hill.
it's a tough hill. Yeah.
All right, so then we're coming into kind of the S's, and this is where Chrissy originated her famous race song.
Are you waiting? Are you waiting? Modulating the gas. Modulating the gas.
gas.
Yep,
You
and it
see what I'm
works
saying?
great. Think about that when you're in this corner. So
Don't break.
Coming into-
Don't
Yep.
break. Well, I mean, depends on the car, but
you
most of the time you don't
to.
need to break.
You don't really need a brake. You need a brake coming into 7. You're coming down a long straight. You're going to need a brake coming into 7. Come into 7, and you're going to have a late apex and not really track out, because now you're going to get into the rhythm of this. So and you can brake pretty late into 7 because you're kind of at the bottom of the hill. So you brake in, late apex, stay right on at the friendly curbs there. And then take a normal line through 8, a nice friendly curb on the inside of 8. And for 9, you want to late apex 9 a lot. So you have to kind of ease off the gas, just lift to turn the nose into 9, because you want to have, again, the car against the right-hand side of the track, no track out for 9, to set you up for the 10, 11 set. So 10 is a crest of a hill. You can't really see much, and it's off camber. So you've got to get yourself ready in 9 to go over 10, easing onto the gas, because you can stay on the gas from 10 all the way to 12. It's a nice little straight if you do it right.
Easing onto the gas or
Modulating.
Exactly. So you modulate your gas all the way through this, because you're on the gas at 8, off of it between 8 and 9, easing back on at 9, on it at 10, and at 11, you're gonna see. If this is also off camber. A lot of people spin coming over 10 because it's off camber and the crest of the hill, and they lift and the back comes around and they spin and they go to the inside of the track. I guarantee you we're going to see 3 people do that this weekend. Jeff.
And this actually brings up something I was going to say through these S's. And part of it is because people are going off a track. Part of it is just because I think the line is so liney here. I don't know how to say it any better. There is a lot of marbles and debris that collects in this S. And I don't know what it is about this set of turns, but there is always crap on the track, especially halfway through. I mean, unless it's raining so much, it just keeps washing it off.
Cool, thanks.
Lots of off-line debris.
Yep. Also, watch out for the different kinds of pavement that exist through the S's. Those are going to change traction in the wet. I think the new looking pavement was more slippery than the old looking pavement last time I was here in the wet, and that was like 2 years ago. So either way, feel it out. The two surfaces are different. Try them both, see what you get. But that is important.
Did they fix the places where the patches? Because there used to be a patch like in 4. I mean, I don't want to backtrack, but like did they repave that whole space, or is there still patches? Okay,
still the patch,
so that still goes for patches then too.
Yeah. All the patches, try them both because they're going to be different. All right. So a visual cue for 10, which is the one at the crest of the little hill, is the apex that I like to have is just past the curbing. There's a dirt spot. That's your apex, but don't hit the dirt. But that spot. While you're doing that, you're looking up to 11. And at 11, there's going to be a spot where the different track configuration road comes in, and there is a point that sticks out that is white and red of the curbing. Look for the point. It's like an arrow point. That is the spot to put your right side tires, is on the point of that arrow. If you hit the apex at 10 at the dirt spot and the point at 11, and you're turning this whole time, but you're probably full throttle while the whole time you're doing this, you will have a great run through 11. Yes, Chrissy.
Curbing while wet or moist.
It's going to be slick.
Okay. Yeah. Because 11 has a big curbing that you could run over. I don't know that you should be going
inside tires. Inside tires aren't doing a whole lot then, so you're probably okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is one when it's dry, you can absolutely run your inside tires over that pointy bit of curb because it is a friendly curb. Mental.
It's going to be raining, and that is also one of the places with the rivers. That's one of the rivers that likes to go.
Yep, totally.
And if you've got a welded differential or any sort of non-limited slip,
We're the only fools who do that, aren't we?
no,
other people do.
no.
Sometimes it works really well.
It really does, but especially, and it's not obvious at the beginning, but after it's been raining for a while, the drainage kind of shifts, and there's a very clear river. You want to go through that as straight as possible, but also paying attention to the cars around you that you might be trying to overtake or undertake as they're coming through that, because they're going to hit that hydroplane and they're not going to be as predictable as they might have been through the previous set of corners. So just be aware there's a huge river there.
Okay. Thank you. So now we're coming up into the 12, 13, 14 complex. These all need to be taken together. And the most important part of this whole thing is how much speed you can carry through 14, because that is going to carry you all the way to 17. So there is a nice flag station on the outside left of 12. Give it a look as you're coming past 11. That's important. This is also a place you will end up doing a lot of passing, is up on the inside of 12, especially if your brakes are good. A lot of people screw up 12. They come in and they take 12 like a normal corner as they go up the hill, and they push wide, and that ruins 13, which ruins 14, which ruins 15. And it's just a series of cascading events. 12 has no real track out. You wait and turn in super late for 12. You come out no more than halfway across the track as your track out, because you're setting yourself up for 13 as you're coming up over the start of the crest of the hill at 13. And you're going to have to learn where the spot is for you to roll onto the gas when you cannot see over the hill of 14 to know where you can do it. It's going to take a few tries, but this is a very critical flag station here, because you are going to be going full throttle over a blind crest. You need to know what's on the other side. Look at the flag station on the right-hand side of 13, 14 before you go over that hill. So
this
again,
is a
with 12,
hard one to miss.
Yeah,
it's
but
in
you've
your
got to
face,
see it.
But
right.
You've got it. Yeah, you have to.
It's like it's eyes up. Eyes up.
You see, it's a hard station to miss, but I had a lot of conversations when I was judging out there with people that were like, "Wait, what?"
Well, there are people who don't heed warnings. That's their problem.
Yeah, we're given the warning. This is important. So if you know no track out 12 and not really no track out 13, because you're setting up for 14. 14 is the important one. Find the spot from your no track out, which is your turn in. No track out 13 is your turn into 14. Figure out where you can start getting on the gas. Know the car is going to float a little bit as it comes over the hill. The curbing on the right-hand side of 14 is flat and friendly. Stick the inside tires on it. Totally fine. Keep the outside tires on the black. But then you will come down the hill, and at the bottom of the hill, you will have lots of traction to be able to gather the car up and get back to the right-hand side of the track to be able to take 15, which is like a 45-degree left, but you can take it flat pretty easily. If you did 12, 13, 14 right, you can get through 15, no problem. Mental.
Also, another place where a lot of people, not as smart as you who didn't listen to this show, they will get scared because it is a high-speed fast corner. But as Chris said, you've got lots of traction. A little trick that I've been working on lately: your brain is going to tell you lift, don't. But because you're fighting your subconscious as you're driving, if you need to lift a finger, but keep your foot on the gas.
I had not heard of that one. Also, there are some little waves coming through here. There are some paths of rain if it's raining a lot here. Also, there's a lot of grass, but there is, that goes for the whole track. If you go off and it's raining and it's wet, you're going to go and you're going to slide for a long time, and there's going to be a barrier and it's going to suck. So this is the time when you're thinking, you've got a lot of time to think through 15, 16, 17, got a lot of time to think that you're right on the gas, lift your finger. Never heard that one. But there are some paths of water that come across the track here.
I will say this is the second place on the track where you will be surprised at how many people are off the track and how, especially in the rain, how far they're going to go and what they're going to hit.
Yeah.
It's like straights, people. I don't know what happens to them. A lot of people have gone off here.
Yep. And so after, if you did fit 12, 13, 14 right, that means you can get 15 right, and you're carrying a ton of speed up into 16. Depending on how much power and traction your car has, I've found that a lot of our cars, I need to lift a bit before 16 because it's a pretty quick transition once you get through 16 to get the car gathered up and then get on the brakes hard. So sometimes if you lift just before 16, it gets the weight on the nose a bit, it gets the car more settled, and then you're more easily ready to transition to the brakes hard coming into 17. The curbs on the inside of 16 are friendly. But if you go off here because you carry too much speed, you are going to go a very long way, and because you're going pretty fast and there's no traction in the grass. So
Yeah.
careful.
This is the place that has eaten a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Chris, so I find a little gas between 16 and 17 really settles the car well.
Depends
are
on the
you
car.
doing that? Okay.
If I'm carrying enough speed coming into 16, I don't really need to.
I never do a lot. I just
Yeah.
always feel like I need to settle a little bit
Yeah.
and a little like
Possibly.
we'll do
That's
that for me.
a car specific thing, depending on what
Okay.
you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some cars you're going to be able to go right through that, no problem. Because if you've got a 1.6 Miata, just stay on it. You're going to have plenty of time to slow down the other side.
Yeah.
But even something like our Mazda isn't super fast. I still like to just at least start lifting before 16. If I'm not a full lift, I'm not carrying it flat unless I'm trying to go for a dry hero lap. So that's all.
And as Chris mentioned, there's a flag station there. And this is actually where I saw a lot of people going off.
Yeah, a lot of people go off between 16 and 17 because they I don't know what happens, but they do.
Yeah.
The kink is
Yeah.
is deceptive. I
It
think
is.
this is deceptive.
They lift in 15 when they don't need to, and then they don't lift in 16 when you really should.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even if it's not a full lift, just a little, just to settle the car down and make it so that you can gather it up between 16 and 17, especially because there's going to be someone over braking for 17 and you're going to need the extra capacity to make sure you don't rear end them or go off. All right. So 17, 18 is a U-turn at the water tower. It is an uphill corner. It has not much camber. If anything, it's actually camber the wrong way. So you're going to come and brake real hard for 17. There's a sharp kind of spot where the corner is the sharpest that you kind of clip the apex there. You do not need to track all the way out at 18. You get like 2/3, 3/4.
But if you have a
but that's it.
free-ish track, it will help you gain speed to get down. That was one of
It
my
can.
downfalls. One of my problems when I was doing track days here, that I
Yeah,
was not
don't-
using the whole track there.
Don't clip in at all. Let the car flow. However
Yeah.
you got through 17, let the car flow through 18, but then hit the apex of 19, which is right. That is where pit in is right there. But you'll see
So
a
much
nice spot
passing in this
with the
section.
guardrail. Yeah, clip the apex at 19, and then you're down the straight like we talked about. It's a nice downhill straight. So that's it. That's a lap of Pit Race.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I would say that both straights are very pass friendly.
Mm-hmm.
19 to 1 and then 2 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And then
everywhere
15
else.
to 16, you're going to pass to, and then 6 to 7 over the hill.
See, I don't think I get by a lot of people in 15 or 16. Maybe because
No.
it's not as powerful of a car usually.
Yeah, there's enough people that do the 14, 15 wrong that I feel like I
oh,
have plenty of people.
Yeah,
that I'm
because
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm
you
saying.
pick up so much. If you get 14 right, you pick up so much speed coming into 15, and everyone else is trying to gather momentum. You're really hauling the mail.
Yeah. I'm saying 15 and 16, they need to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can just take people apart on the other two straights. Like you're not going to outbrake anybody in the other areas, but I
No.
think you can outbrake people by doing less brake, meaning in one and pass, or in some of the other places.
There's several good spots if you have really good brakes that you can deep brake somebody.
Yeah.
17, 3, occasionally 7, and 12
Yeah.
are all places you can deep brake somebody.
Mhm.
Okay.
or less brake, depending on who you are.
Sure.
Carry more momentum
Anything
if you're
else?
in that 1.6. Up that hill.
Yep. Up the hill in the 1.6 and Miata. When you run out of third, what's the number when you get to in third gear? You should go to second. 4,000 RPM. Jeff?
I don't remember.
like
All
that.
I know is the guy basically told me stop braking so hard to get into second. Carry more speed so you can stay in third. That was my lesson at the bottom of the hill.
Cool.
All right.
Anything else?
We can't wait to see y'all. If you're gonna go, you're gonna be there.
Absolutely.
Look for pictures
All right.
of Pinocchio and Shrek Jr.
We
if
will
you're on
be
my social media.
We'll be shivering and in many rain jackets that we brought. Yep.
All right. Next. Ready for?
On the spot time.
All right. This on the spot is for the other two of you,
Okay.
essentially, mostly Jeff.
Okay.
We're all going to guess though. So this weekend, while the rest of our team is at Pitt Race, having a slightly cold but wonderful time, we have two questions.
We'll have a hot tub though. I mean,
We'll do a hot tub.
yes.
Two questions.
It's gonna be freaking cold.
that we need to answer around the spot. One, how many times a day is Jeff going to check Race Monitor? And two, vote for what you think Jeff should do when he's not going to theater shows while the rest
Dark
of his team
Jr.
is racing. Yes. Those are the two on the spot things that we need to decide. Right. Mental, you're ready to go.
Okay.
Jeff will he will check Race Monitor one time and it will stay up the entire day.
No, I think because you have to sometimes you have to close it and you have to reload.
But it literally, he used to be pulling down, refresh, pulling down, refresh. Good job. Good job. Well done. Pull down, refresh.
This
pull
probably
down,
should have been
refresh.
how many times you're going to text at least Slack or something or
What's going
Or
on?
we've just
going
the
on?
two questions.
who's in
right
the
now.
car.
So,
Yes.
that's inevitable. But it's how many times,
that
then what should he do?
depends on how well the team is doing and how close it is. Because
No.
then he's gonna freak right out if they're
I don't
like
think
right
so.
there on the edge. And I say that as a guy who used to do that from 4,000 miles away. Of, oh my god, what happened? Why are you not turning lap times? And what should Jeff do during there? This gets a little ABC after school specialish, but genuinely, he should clear his mind of all things racing and focus on the correct decision that he is making and just interact with the people around him about not race car stuff.
I plan on talking to every dad and every mom who will listen to me about race car stuff at all of the shows. I swear to God, I have already set up Josh to introduce me to another dad so I could talk about the international scout that is in his driveway.
That reminds me, there's a rust-free Scout with a title but no engine and transmission.
We don't
here in Las
want
Vegas
no.
Nope. Nope. Too far.
No.
All right.
No.
I got my
maybe
answer.
next year when you come out here for the
Nope.
for the Formula One
Nope.
race.
No.
I'm going to say 27 times. And clean the garage because there's no race car to work on. There's no nothing. I think this is a great time to clean the garage and constantly check Race Monitor.
Okay. So
And when he says clean the garage, throw a bunch of stuff away, Jeff. Don't just move it around. There's stuff you don't need. You haven't touched in years. Throw it away.
There is not stuff I have not touched.
I'm going to go with
He's moved it from here to here. It's been touched.
32 times, assuming that one time doesn't work, because I think because you have to do it twice at least, because it's not going to work for the second day, right? Like it's just not. So 2 minimum, 32 is my number. And I think he's going to be an ass and he's going to sit and watch the F1 race that we're all going to miss. And he's going to watch that and he's going to be posting on the F1 on Slack and I'm going to be pissed. I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to be cursing because you're watching and we're not, but I think that's what's going to happen.
I'll watch it on the way home.
Don't open the Slack.
We
if you're
don't.
not watching the race.
Oh, we do not.
That's why we put it in a separate room.
I know.
You know what, Jeff?
Doesn't mean that he's not going to post there.
Okay.
Let's be nice to our two co-hosts. I will get up early and go to the Circa and sit in their sports book, and you and I can just have a text chat. And that way we don't have to ruin the race.
Oh
for
no,
those two.
because it doesn't matter if
fine.
you're not going to, then like Jackie's going to post. So it's fine. Like
Jackie,
no, it doesn't matter. Like people are
Matt
going
will
to
be
post.
posting.
Hey,
We'll
we do not look if we're not going to
Don't
watch the
open
race.
that Slack.
We're going to listen to it on the way home, which is fine.
No, you can bring the laptop and
Right.
hotspot
That's
the
what-
phone and watch it that way.
That's what I'm saying. We're not, but that's what I think he's going to do.
Yep.
I like the mental plan of once and just constantly refreshing. I'll be honest with you.
But Chrissy pointed out the flaw.
It's going to have to be twice.
It has to at least be twice.
Because you have to
I'm going to stick by my number, but I'm going to update it to
Fine.
2 because Chrissy's right.
going to
Chrissy's
update it.
100% right.
Okay.
the number of times that because I don't look to see how you're doing, because it's going to be casual racing with friends weekend.
Who knows?
It's going to be It's going to be raining. It's going to be all these kind of things. But if things are going wrong, that's when you're going to get the phone blown up. As soon as those laps stop, I don't care if you're in first or 101st. When the laps stop, what's going on? Did someone break? Did someone crash? Is it red flag? What's happening? Somebody tell me what's happening.
Welcome to my deployments.
Yeah.
Your question should have been, how many times is he going to text and or put into Slack? What is
'Cause we
going
can
on?
Count that. Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on?
37 is probably pretty close.
Right.
You guys-
That's my answer.
You guys should be mean and turn your phones to do not disturb.
No, it doesn't matter. Nobody looks at their no one responds.
Oh, we might
Sometimes.
if you're looking at the phone.
What's going on? What happened? Stuff. Wait, what are you doing? What's going on?
Maybe if it's you and
Who's in the car? One of us.
this might be my answer just because.
This is an opportunity for the two of you to really just twist.
Well, it's two of us, but there's a lot more people. If he puts it on Slack, there's other people to answer. That's the problem.
And there are 2 potential jobs for this weekend.
Sit on your ass.
Beginning the next phase of painting the inside of the house. Or clean the garage so Chris gets a point. Because last weekend I had to gather tools to go to my parents' brother's house so I could fix Miatas and move RVs. And I was like, I can't find anything because everything is all over the place.
Oh.
And I closed the garage door and it hit a piece of Boy Scout equipment that I am storing because other people are leaving the Boy Scout troop. And the rollers, the garage door rollers, 2 of them flung out of my garage door and entered the mess. And they have never been seen again. I had a backup.
Oh.
So I was able to get the door to close.
Oh my God. This is it. You've already checked general Wakeman problems on your bingo card.
That's not even general. That's like advanced Wakeman problems.
So
That is
the only thing I said
We
is-
should add that to the card.
the only thing I said is I'm fucking cleaning the garage at the next opportunity. So if I win the weekend pool, the garage will get cleaned. If my wife wins the weekend, we will be working on painting.
And I'm gonna
How about both?
repeat. I'm gonna repeat
One
a
day,
piece of
one day.
advice. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna repeat a piece of advice I got from Chris when I was up there in January, and it is thus so far in 2022 worked out gloriously. Just let it go, man. You don't need it. It's bringing you unhappiness. Just
Oh.
free yourself of stuff.
See, he should maybe
There's
should
not
have
that
a.
much stuff.
It's a garage full
I'm
of
sorry.
stuff, Jeff.
What?
It's not as much stuff as you think. It's projects on projects on projects.
Let them go. Sell them as projects, bro.
I I can't. It's our railing that I have to put together. It's the table saw that never got put away. It's, you know what I mean? It's the tale of
Different than your projects, Mental.
Yeah.
Not a 9.
Okay, I think we need to wrap this up because this has gone so long. So
It's way too long.
it's
What
gone
are we
too
doing
long.
next week?
We're going to tell you all about what happened at Pitt Race because we're going. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be chilly. We can't wait. We're going to the racetrack and it's going to be awesome. We'll tell you about what happened.
Known as the Pit Race hangover.
Always. And it's usually a fairly solid hangover.
For us, y'all going to be
Sorry. Oh, there's my
out
volume.
there.
Follow all of our social medias because
We'll be
Chrissy will
there.
be on a posting frenzy.
Absolutely. I will. All over the place. Not some of these places though.
Well, thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. You also you join us in the world of driving, racing, and building because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hated us, give us 5 stars. Tell us why. If you're watching on YouTube, which you totally should whenever we do a track walk, watch on YouTube so you can watch the stupid track map. Anyway, talk to us right down there in the doodly-doo. Down there, right there. If you have any comments or show ideas, check us out on the Facebook page, Everyone Racers. Email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can still text mental 484-243-0455. Tell him what he should do with that frickin' trailer. Find us on Instagram or Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Everyone Racers, Reddit, /E1R. Thanks again.
TikTok.
TikTok, yes. Thanks again, and until next week,
Snapchat.
keep the giant, overly tall side up. Unless you're got the other trailer, then just keep the rusty side. I don't know. I got nothing here.
Oh, I got this. Keep the zebra rainbow camouflage side up. Unless you don't have zebra rainbow camouflage, then just keep the wheels down.